Right now, there's an AI tool called OpenClaw blowing up the internet.
OpenClaw.
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 OpenClaw. OpenClaw.
A personal AI agent that runs on your machine, connects to your email, your Slack, your calendar, and does things while you sleep. And everyone online is asking the same question: how do I make money with it? But here is the problem. Most people are going to download it, set it up for themselves, maybe automate a few tasks, and wonder why nobody's paying them. That's the same mistake thousands of people made with chatbots 2 years ago. They learned the tool, but they never learned the business. My co-founder and I have built and deployed AI agents for real businesses and generated over $600,000 in revenue. Not by running the tool, but by understanding where businesses need it most. So today, I'm going to show you 3 ways to turn OpenClaw into a real business. I'm not going to teach you the theory or give you a list of ideas from Twitter. I'm going to show you the actual model we use with real clients and real numbers, and how you can start this week. So first, let me explain what OpenClaw actually does, because most people still don't get it. ChatGPT answers your questions. OpenClaw does things for you. It's a personal AI agent that lives on your machine. With over 200,000 stars on GitHub, it's the fastest growing open source project in history. It reads your emails and drafts responses. It monitors your Slack and flags what matters. It runs tasks at 6 a.m. while you're still asleep. It controls your browser, manages your files, and connects to over 50 tools and services. And it has over 5,000 skills you can plug in from their public registry. And it's fully open source, completely free. So if the tool is free, if anyone can download it, if the code is sitting right there on GitHub for the whole world to see, where is the money? The money is in the gap. OpenClaw requires a command line, node, API keys, security hardening, and custom configuration. There are workspace files you have to write. Sol file for the agent's personality and values, and agents file for its operating rules. That's not plug and play. One of OpenClaw's own maintainers warned that if you can't understand the command line, the project is too dangerous to use safely. That's 95% of business owners. They heard about it, they got excited, they tried to set it up, but they got stuck and they moved on. That gap between this tool exists and this tool works inside my business is worth serious money. And that's not a guess. That's the exact gap my business partner and I have been filling for the past 2 years, just with different tools. Think of it this way: someone just invented the most powerful engine ever made and gave it away for free, but the engine doesn't come with a car. No steering wheel, no seats, no frame. Someone has to build the car around the engine. That someone is you. And if you're watching this and thinking, but won't just everyone learn to set this up on their own? The answer is simply no. The same way everyone can build their own website, yet the web development industry is worth tens of billions of dollars a year. People and businesses pay to close that gap every single time. Okay, so the gap is the business, but what does that actually look like in practice? There are 3 levels to this, and each one pays more than the last. The first level is the simplest entry point, done for you OpenClaw setup. You get on a 30-minute call with a founder or an executive. You ask them 3 questions. What tools do you use every day? What eats up most of your time? And what do you wish just happened automatically? Then you go build it. You set up OpenClaw on a server or their own machine. You configure the skills they need. You write their soul and agents files, the files that define the agent's personality, what it can do and what it can't touch. You connect their email, their Slack, their calendar, and so on. You test it and you hand it over with a guide. The client gets a 24/7 AI assistant that would cost them $80,000 a year as a human hire. You spend 3 to 4 hours on setup and maybe 2 hours a month to keep it running. Now here is what everyone gets wrong with this. They think the hard part is the tech, but it's not. The hard part is knowing what the assistant should do. That's a consulting skill, not a coding skill. You need to understand what a business or an executive actually struggles with, and that's the part no YouTube tutorial will teach you. And let me be clear about pricing. You may not be able to charge $5,000 on your first client, and that's okay. You can start with $500 to $1,000. Get real results for 2 or 3 people people. Learn what works and then raise your prices with proof. Now, my business partner Ali and I don't just run AI projects for businesses. We also help people start and scale their own AI consulting businesses. We have helped over 50 people do this so far. So, if that's something you are interested in, I would love to invite you to schedule a call with us to see how we can help you scale and if this is the right fit. That's the top link in the description. Now let me show you levels 2 and 3, because this is where the real money lives. The second level is where things get serious. Instead of a one-time setup, you build an ongoing AI system that runs a part of their business for them, and you charge monthly for it. This is exactly what we did for a yacht management company called Stewardly. Before we came in, here is what their operation looked like. The chief stewardess spent 10 hours every trip counting inventory by hand. She had to physically walk through every storage area on the yacht and write everything down on a paper. She used sticky notes, whiteboards and notebooks. Then after the trip, she would sit down with her laptop and spend another 2 hours typing everything in. Her laptop was the only place where the Excel spreadsheet lived. And during the trip itself, nobody could check the inventory because the laptop couldn't be opened during the 24/7 guest service. So the whole crew was guessing. Nobody knew how much champagne they had left. They would have to go ask the chief stew. If she is busy, they would have to wait 30 minutes to 2 hours just for an answer. So we built them a WhatsApp-based AI agent. Now any crew member could text something like 2 beach towels, 1 sunscreen, 2 bags of chips, and the system would understand it. The system would categorize everything, update the database in real time, and confirm back what changed. It worked with voice notes too, in multiple languages, because yacht crews come from everywhere. As a result, 10 hours of manual inventory work dropped to under an hour per trip. We projected $21,000 a year in labor savings for a 5-person crew. Over $19,000 in savings from not over-ordering supplies, and the crew could check stock levels in under 2 minutes instead of waiting up to 2 hours. That's a recurring revenue client. You build the system once, you manage it monthly, and they pay you every single month because the system runs their operations. That's not a gig, that's a business. The third level is the premium end, and this is where the real money lives. Instead of setting up one agent, you walk into a company and you audit their entire operation. You find every workflow that eats human hours. You map out which problems AI can solve and which it can't. And then you design a full system with multiple agents to transform how that business runs. We did this with a youth sports academy called Flight Freerun. They were using an old CRM platform called Glowfox. It was overcomplicated, expensive, and not built for their niche at all. They had specific age groups and ability levels. When a kid moved mid-month, someone had to manually click through every field to reassign them. Their customer support team, which was 4 people, spent their entire day answering WhatsApp messages by hand. They didn't have time to explore the tools they were already paying for, let alone chase new sales. So we built them a complete system, a custom CRM designed for their industry. WhatsApp integration for 24/7 automated responses, a voice agent that handles inquiries by phone in multiple languages, and a staff training agent so new coaches could learn the system without pulling the senior staff off the floor. We offered 3 packages from $10,000 to $20,000. That's a single client. And it came from one discovery call where we asked the right questions and understood their actual problem. This is the premium end, and the reason it commands those prices has nothing to do with the technology being harder. It's because understanding a business deeply enough to transform it is a rare skill. OpenClaw makes the tech side easier, but the ability to walk into a business, find where it's broken, and design a system that fixes it, that's what's scarce, and that's what people and businesses pay for. Now, let me be honest about something, because I don't want this video to sound like every other person online hyping up this tool to sell you a dream. Look, OpenClaw is not magic. It has real limitations that nobody's talking about. Security is a serious concern. You are giving an AI agent access to your email, your files, your CRM, your calendar, and what have you. for businesses with sensitive data, and every real business has sensitive data. That's not a feature demo. That's a conversation about risk, trust, and guardrails. The agent makes mistakes. Skills break when they update. It hallucinates. It does things you didn't ask it to. And if you set it up wrong, it can send emails you didn't want to send, delete files you needed, or just completely misunderstand what the client wants. Your job is not to pretend these problems don't exist. Your job is to understand them better than your client does. To set the guardrails. To build the soul file that keeps the agent in check. To monitor and maintain the system after you hand it over. That's what turns this from a weekend project into a real business. It's the difference between someone who sells you a car and someone who's your mechanic for life. The sale is nice, but the relationship is the business. And that brings me to the deeper point here. Every few months, a new tool drops and the internet loses its mind. 6 months ago, it was Cloud Code. Before that, it was custom GPTs. And before that, it was Auto GPT. The tool changes every time, but the business model doesn't. Businesses still have messy data, broken workflows, and teams that don't know where to start with AI. The gap between tech and what businesses need is widening, not narrowing. And every new tool that comes out just makes the gap more obvious. So if you're constantly chasing the tool, you will always be starting over. But if you build the skill of understanding business problems and applying AI to solve them, you will never run out of work, no matter what the new tool is. So here is what I would do if I were starting from zero right now. Find one person you know who runs a business. Could be a friend, could be someone you follow on LinkedIn, could be a local business in your city, and ask them one question. What takes up most of your time that you wish just happened on its own? Then shut up and listen, because their answer is your first client. You don't need a perfect OpenClaw setup. You don't need a website. You don't need an AI tutorial to finish first. You need one real conversation with one real business owners who has a real problem, and then you figure out how to solve it with OpenClaw, with Claude, with whatever tool gets the job done. That's how my co-founder and I started. We didn't know everything, we just know enough to ask the right questions. And that's the thing nobody wants to hear. You don't learn this stuff by watching more AI tutorials. You learn it by doing the work. By sitting across from a real business owner with a real problem and figuring it out together. The first client won't be perfect, but it will teach you more in 1 week than 6 months of tutorials ever could. OpenClaw gave everyone free access to the most powerful AI agent infrastructure ever built. And that's incredible, but the tool was never the business. The gap between the tool and what a business really needs, that's your business. And that gap isn't closing, it's only growing. You don't need to be technical, you don't need years of experience. You need to understand problems and know how to solve them. If you want to build a real AI consulting business with a proven framework, I would love to invite you to schedule a call with us to see how we can help you scale and if this is the right fit. We have helped over 50 people start and grow their AI businesses. That's the top link in the description. Remember, tools are free, experience is not, and that's your entire business.